The voice of doubt is paralyzing your faith. Today, we're going to learn how to silence it and unleash the power God has already placed within you, transforming your deepest frustrations into your greatest divine assignments. Have you ever felt like you're standing at the edge of a vast, unwritten future, holding the pen, but paralyzed by the sheer blankness of the page? Many of us, blessed with incredible potential and a divine spark, find ourselves trapped in cycles of blame, waiting for external forces or even divine intervention to suddenly rearrange our circumstances. We point fingers at past hurts, current limitations, or the perceived unfairness of life, inadvertently surrendering the very power God has entrusted to us. The power to choose, to act, and to create. This isn't just about positive thinking. It's about a foundational spiritual truth. Your life, your decisions, your responses to every challenge, they are your responsibility. It's a radical shift from "why is this happening to me" to "what will I do with what God has given me?" This journey begins with recognizing that your future is not something that happens to you. It is something you author moment by moment with every choice, every action, and every belief you cultivate. The divine blueprint for your life isn't a static image. It's a dynamic, unfolding masterpiece that requires your active participation. This is where true empowerment begins, not in waiting for a rescue, but in seizing the spiritual authority to shape your destiny. The insidious trap we often fall into is believing that our current struggles define our ultimate destination. We look at the broken pieces and assume the mosaic is shattered beyond repair. But what if those very fragments are the raw materials for something infinitely more beautiful than you could have ever imagined? The diagnosis is simple yet profound. A subtle, often unconscious abdication of the power God has already given us. We've allowed limiting thoughts, the whispers of past failures, and the loud noise of external skepticism to drown out the inherent, unshakable belief in our own potential that is a direct reflection of our Creator's image. Think of the prophet Jeremiah, who felt too young, too inadequate, yet God declared, "Before I formed you in the womb I knew you, and before you were born I consecrated you." This isn't just a historical anecdote, it's a living truth for you. You are not a random accident. You are a purposeful creation, endowed with unique gifts and an unparalleled capacity for greatness. The first clue to transformation lies in this profound realization. Your potential isn't something you earn. It's something you uncover, like an ancient treasure hidden within the depths of your spirit. It's about shedding the layers of self-doubt and external expectations to reveal the true person God designed you to be. If this message is stirring something within you, if you feel a quiet resonance with the idea that there's more to your story than you've been living, then pause for a moment. Share your own journey in the comments below. How has God called you to step into responsibility? Your story might be the very light someone else needs. And if you feel led to continue this conversation, consider joining our community by clicking that subscribe button so we can explore more of God's transformative truths together. One of the most formidable obstacles we face on this journey is the ghost of past failures, the what-ifs and if-onlys that haunt our present and paralyze our future. We set a goal, perhaps to start a new ministry, launch a small business, or heal a broken relationship. And the moment discomfort arises, or a setback occurs, the old tapes start playing. You're not good enough. You tried this before, and it didn't work. This is too hard. This is the subtle erosion of belief, the silent enemy that convinces us to retreat before the battle has truly begun. The principle of overcoming this is simple yet revolutionary. View every setback not as a stop sign, but as a course correction. Consider the story of a woman named Eleanor, who felt called to start a community garden in a food desert area of her city. She secured a small plot, gathered volunteers, and planted the first seeds with immense hope. Then, a sudden, unseasonal frost wiped out nearly half of the young seedlings. Eleanor was devastated. She could have easily given up, blaming the weather, the lack of resources, or her own inexperience. But instead, she saw it as an urgent lesson. She researched frost protection, rallied more community support, and replanted with newfound knowledge and resilience. Her initial failure wasn't the end. It was the crucible that forged a stronger, more sustainable project, eventually yielding a vibrant garden that fed hundreds. Her journey wasn't about avoiding obstacles. It was about transforming them into stepping stones. What frost have you encountered that you've allowed to stop your progress, instead of teaching you a new way to grow? Another significant hurdle is the constant bombardment of distractions, both external and internal, that dilute our focus and scatter our energy. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the urgent rather than the important, to scroll endlessly instead of sowing purposefully. But here's a surprising revelation. Many of these distractions aren't just external noise. They are often internal coping mechanisms, ways we avoid the discomfort of true growth. We embrace busyness as a shield against the deep, focused work required to achieve our boldest goals. The truth is, profound change requires profound focus. It's like trying to boil water over 100 tiny candles instead of one concentrated flame. You expend immense energy, but the water never reaches a boil. The practical application of this truth is ruthless prioritization. It means identifying your absolute non-negotiables, the core actions that propel you towards your God-given purpose, and then fiercely protecting that time and energy. It means learning to say no to good things so you can say yes to the best things. Imagine a young artist, David, who dreamt of painting a masterpiece that would inspire his community. He spent years dabbling, attending every social event, checking every notification, feeling perpetually busy but never truly fulfilled. One day a mentor challenged him. "David," she said, "your talent is a wellspring, but you're sipping from 1,000 different puddles instead of drawing from the depths." That conversation was a revelation. David began to intentionally carve out dedicated, uninterrupted hours for his art, even if it meant missing social gatherings. He learned that true progress wasn't about doing more, but about doing what truly mattered with unwavering dedication. What puddles are you still sipping from that are draining your true wellspring of potential? The true spiritual turning point in this journey arrives when we shift our perspective from seeing ourselves as passive recipients of fate to active co-creators with God. This isn't about controlling the divine narrative. It's about aligning our will with His, recognizing that His power flows through our responsible action. The central biblical truth here is found in Philippians 2:12-13, which states, "Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God who works in you, both to will and to work for His good pleasure." This verse is a powerful paradox. We are to work out our salvation, implying active effort. Yet it is God who works in us. It's not about doing it alone, but about participating fully in what God is already doing within you. This realization sparks a profound inner transformation. It moves us beyond mere hope into active faith. Hope waits for things to happen. Faith makes things happen. It's about recognizing that God has already deposited within you the necessary tools, the wisdom, the resilience, and the strength to overcome any obstacle. He has already equipped you for the journey He has called you to embark upon. The transformation isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become in the process. It's about shedding the old identity of the victim and embracing the new identity of the victor, not through your own might, but through the power of Christ working through you. This is the moment when the architect of your soul reveals that you are not just a building, but a builder, empowered to construct the life He envisions for you. This new perspective unleashes a powerful force. The realization that your discomfort is often a divine invitation to grow. When you feel that familiar tug of resistance, that urge to retreat, it's not a sign to stop. It's a signal that you're on the threshold of a breakthrough, stepping outside your comfort zone and into the expansive territory of God's purpose. Consider the testimony of a woman named Maria, a single mother of 3, who felt overwhelmed by the daily demands of life. She struggled with chronic anxiety and a deep sense of inadequacy. One day she heard a sermon about King David, a shepherd boy who faced a giant. The pastor emphasized that David didn't wait for a king to fight his battle. He stepped forward with what he had, 5 smooth stones and unwavering faith. Maria had a revelation. Her stones were her resilience, her love for her children, and her faith, however small it seemed. She decided to stop waiting for her circumstances to change and started taking radical responsibility for her emotional and spiritual well-being. She committed to 5 minutes of prayer every morning, then 10, then 20. She started setting small, achievable goals for herself and her family, celebrating every tiny victory. Her transformation wasn't instant, but consistent. She adopted a solution-oriented mindset, relentlessly seeking ways to overcome challenges instead of dwelling on problems. This expansive application of the principle means that every area of your life, from your finances to your relationships, can be transformed when you stop seeing problems as permanent roadblocks and start seeing them as puzzles God has given you the wisdom to solve. Maria's story is a powerful reminder that the biggest breakthroughs often come from the smallest, most consistent acts of faith. So how do we translate these profound truths into tangible, life-altering action? The first practical step is to set bold, clear goals, not just vague aspirations. What is the mountain God is calling you to climb? What is the vision He has placed in your heart? Write it down. Make it specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This isn't about wishful thinking. It's about intentional alignment with God's will for your life. Second, back those goals with massive, consistent action. This is where the rubber meets the road. It means showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. It means embracing the marathon of faith, understanding that significant success is rarely an overnight phenomenon, but the cumulative result of relentless effort over time. Third, commit to continuous learning and application. The world is constantly evolving, and so should you. Read, listen, seek wisdom, and immediately apply what you learn. Don't be a spiritual hoarder. Be a spiritual doer. Fourth, intentionally. Surround yourself with inspiring and challenging individuals. Your environment shapes your mindset. Seek out those who lift you higher, who speak life into your potential, and who hold you accountable to your highest calling. This renewed vision invites you to step into a life of purpose, power, and profound impact. It's an invitation to reclaim your spiritual agency and become the person God designed you to be. Are you ready to answer that call? To step into the fullness of your divine potential? As we consolidate this journey, remember that your life is a sacred tapestry, and you are holding the threads. Every decision, every action, every thought you cultivate weaves into its intricate design. The vision of your future is not a distant mirage. It is a landscape you are actively building, brick by brick, belief by belief. This requires maintaining a strong mindset, never accepting defeat as permanent, but rather as a temporary lesson, a detour, not a dead end. It means cultivating patience while remaining relentless, understanding that God's timing is perfect, but His call often requires our immediate and sustained obedience. You are not meant to merely exist. You are called to thrive, to flourish, to leave an indelible mark on this world. This is not just about personal success. It's about fulfilling your divine assignment, becoming a beacon of hope and inspiration to those around you. The power to shape your future, to overcome every perceived limitation, and to step into the abundant life God has promised. It lies entirely within you, waiting to be unleashed through faith and action. If you've been touched by this message, if you feel a renewed sense of purpose stirring within your spirit, then let's continue this journey together. Share your deepest aspirations, your most challenging obstacles, and your breakthroughs in the comments below. Your story of transformation could be the very spark someone else needs to ignite their own faith journey. Imagine the collective impact we could have, inspiring one another to walk boldly in our God-given potential. Let's build a community rooted in unwavering belief and relentless action. Join us by subscribing, and let's unlock the divine blueprint for our lives, one intentional step at a time.